organized and getting ready for a Black Lives Matter. It's a complicated story here in Shoreline, and I will try to get into that story a little bit. I'm going to let the audience build. If they get started, this is going to go on for a couple of hours. Going to be speakers. The real tight nutshell, like in the 30 seconds or less, there is some citizens who just live here in a neighborhood in Shoreline. They put out a Black Lives Matter sign inside front of their house. They have been subject to racist attacks. They organized a group of kids, stress kids, to just do some chalk art in the street. An individual drove through the kids. Nobody was hit, but they had to pop out of the road. A gun was drawn, was pointed at people, meaning the person that drove through. Shoreline police were contacted. Shoreline police did nothing. We know this dance music. And this has gone back as like a tete-a-tete, back and forth, for about 3 weeks now. And so what's happened is things have reached to the point where there's a protest now today. And when this blew up on social earlier in the week, it was only then that the city of Shoreline went, you know, we're kind of aware of what's going on and stuff, and we're looking into it, and we're considering. If this hadn't blown up on social, y'all wouldn't have just heard the story. And it shouldn't have to be that way. So that's the story in a minute or less. Gonna flip the camera around, and we're gonna send you up a little bit. No pole cam today. So last night I stepped on the pole cam microphone by accident. The clip came off. It ended up under my foot. If you watch the stream from last night, you only have to watch about like the first 15 or 20 seconds. You hear this crunch. It sounds just like I'm stepping on a bug, and then it goes silent. And that's because the microphone got stepped on. So I know it's a little bit dark right now. What's happening is the sun's going to keep moving, and this is one of these situations where, as we say in video, the light is completely trashed. There's one guy here that I am going to try and interview, either probably at the end. He is a black science fiction writer, and I heard him talking just for a little bit to somebody else. And he has some books available on Amazon, and I want to put them on blast. So on the subject of putting things on blast, while we're waiting for things here to get started, this is the point actually here. If you just give me a minute, I'm going to go ahead and do what I kind of call the PBS role, which is I'm going to talk about all the different black projects that you can support. So all of these are for Venmo, and all of these activists or individuals really need your support. So the first one is the Morning March team. If you watch the Morning March, you're familiar with the Morning Marches, where they go out and, among doing Morning March, they also do neighborhood cleanups. Their Venmo is Morning March with a capital M. The EDM team, that's the team that does the everyday march in the evening. That is the group that had the amazing meeting with Balducci in Bellevue last week. If you watched that was an amazing session with her. Yeah, that's that group. That's TK and all. Theirs is EDM, all capitals, housing. All of these Venmo links are at the top of the stream. The Engage team. The Engage team is the team that brought you the amazing event last Friday outside of Uncle Ike's. And their Venmo is the Engage team. Capital T, capital E, capital T. They're starting some music, so I'm going to move away from the speakers. The next one is for Safety Gear. Safety Gear is for people that are working on our streamer community and also working on documentaries. Wow, I just went like totally George Bush strategery there for a minute. That Venmo is at Victoria-Ramon. That's spelled R, A as in Alpha, M as in Michael, O as in Oscar, N as in November. And if you Venmo there, please state the reason is for safety gear. Victoria has raised a lot of money, and it has gone to provide protection to a ton of streamers. Last night I said, 8 or 9 streamers. That actually was just referring to body armor in specifically. Countless numbers of streamers video operators and producers have been provided things like respirators and the replacement filter and eye protection. And anyway, they really need your support. The next one, Calypso Head streamer. She really needs your help this month. And that is CHSS, so CHS stream, but there's two S's. So CHS and then stream, STREM all together. Again, those Venmos are at the top. And the last one is the Yovng God, AKA Ash. And they're, no offense to Ash, their Venmo was kind of an eye chart. The link is up on the top there. Ash has lost a family member, and that is out in Hawaii, and we put some posts up about that. They really need your help. So if you could help all of that. If you want to support Diaz Love and her recovery, her Venmo is It's Diaz Love, ITS, Diaz Love all together. There's also a link if you want to support the production of the documentary Black June. There's a link up there to the GoFundMe on that. Finally, the Malcontentment Tango. You can follow us, like us, subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, aka Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. And I think I just listed all of our, oh, and the website, malcontentment.com. Malcontentment.com is the website there. If you want to support us, I always put us last. You can support us. The link is up at the top. Here's the other thing that I want to bring up on housekeeping. Yesterday, Future Crystals put us on blast, and I really appreciate that. But what Future Crystals did was they took a picture literally of the card. On my card is the Venmo. So what I had said yesterday is as long as that's up in his story for 24 hours. Any Venmo money that comes in through that Venmo for us, I'm giving to the Black community, because nobody has any way of knowing if they just see that picture to go, is that going to BIPOC or not? So any money that goes to that, while that is still up in Future Crystal story on Instagram, that money is going to go to BIPOC streamers. And I'm going to be dividing that between Calypso Head and Ash. All right, so that's kind of the, I call it the PBS style intro, and I appreciate kind of you letting me go through all those shout outs as things kind of get organized here. And the group is building. We'll do a little bit of a pan around. There's going to be speakers out here today. And right now people are still arriving. The horns you're honking are people honking in support as they're driving by. We're in Shoreline, Washington. We are at the police station in City Hall, which is located on North 175th Street, and I'm trying to get the Midvale Avenue North. And the road is has been blocked off, as well as a couple of area driveways. Right now, it appears that Shoreline PD has no visible presence. Remember, we did a similar event in Auburn, and Auburn was like SWAT team on the roof, and you know, they looked like they were just ready for war. And right now, it just appears that Shoreline PD has almost no presence. Bike Brigade is here, and Bike Brigade is doing a safety briefing. Generally, Bike Brigade doesn't like to be on camera, not on the close-ups, and I'm not on pole cam. So I'm going to go ahead and walk a little further down. There's a lot of people that are kind of walking up from the street to join. And here, I'll kind of turn and give you this shot and zoom in a little bit, not that much. And you can see that there is a growing crowd that is building up here in Shoreline. This is a community that is really frustrated right now on what's going on. And the Shoreline Police Department is an organization that reputationally, like if you do some research, particularly say less than 10 years ago, reputationally they had a lot of problems as an organization. Joey, thank you for starting the watch party. Really appreciated you amplifying the voice of the black youth in particular that are going to be speaking. This is so cute. Check this out. Just we'll have a couple of kids here playing rock, paper, scissors.
No, at your former school. Yeah. He's going to Shorecrest.
We know each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. No.
Jack was in the library.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream here expecting protest porn, you're going to be very, very disappointed. And if that's why you watch these streams, all I can do is say thank you for amplifying the volume, because the more trolls that hop onto the stream, the more it amplifies the stream and the more eyeballs will see it. So you actually make us stronger. So we really appreciate it. We're like good wine grapes or watermelon. Wine grapes get better the more they have to struggle. The hotter and drier that a watermelon grows in the conditions, the sweeter the watermelon is. So, thank you for amplifying the volume. I guess it'd probably be a little more steady image if I wasn't one-handed today. And this is, at the core, what today is all about. At the core, that is what today is all about. All right, so whenever music starts playing, I have to keep talking, so that way we don't get the stream knocked off, because we don't want the stream knocked off. But we're going to go ahead and just show you some of this chalk art that's going on right now. Because there's some great chalk art that's happening. I've gotten just about everything here, but yeah.
I was just boasting.
Oh, you did that.
I did all of those.
Oh, I couldn't hear over the music.
No, it's okay.
Well, it's great. It's certainly better than I can do. This is why I hold the camera, because if I did the chalk, it would just be like, what is that? Hieroglyphics and emoji? And an emoji? What was that?
I'm excited to see what the kids add. The little ones.
The little,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right.
Oh, yeah, no justice, no peace. That's right.
There you go. Again, if I'm just still like, why is he just talk, blah, blah, blah. And so, because the music's playing and I don't want to get the feed knocked off the air. Is it okay if I take her picture?
Look, they're all Adidas. You like Adidas?
It's hard with the music playing. Light is just trash. The lighting is just really harsh. Some people may know I was rocking an eye infection for most of the week. I got a little ulcer on my right eye. I'm still just a touch light sensitive, so it's tough. It's really bright. But I told the organizers, damn eye patch. Hey Omari, I just saw the little pop-up, and the answer, I don't know what clip, but for you, the answer is yes, absolutely. And I only saw the first part of your question. After the feed, I'll respond. It'll probably be early evening. So, but Omari, I saw that, and thank you for watching, and the answer is absolutely yes. All right, I think they're getting ready to get started. We're going to go ahead and move up so you can hear the speakers. I'd also like to thank organizers for giving us access today. So let me go ahead and move up, and we'll get out of this blazing sun and get into some better light.
Oh, right here, Ronnie. That's
One other thing, I'm also here to film. So there may be some times from the feed where you're like, why is he framed that way? Why is the feed looking at that? It's because other video work is taking priority. So please understand. Thank you. Also, just a reminder, moderators are on the feed,
We're going to
so
start everything in about 10
be
more minutes.
respectful.
We're going to wait for more people to keep coming. We see you. Thank you. Thank you. Network with everybody. We ask everybody to know somebody, know your neighbor, introduce each other, because we're all here representatory of our youth for your own courage and wisdom to come out here and support these babies, to support their families. So I encourage you to turn to somebody and introduce yourself to one another so that we can keep Shoreline networking, keep the safety of our youth, the safety of these families. Know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody is really important. So we're going to turn the music back on. We're going to start in a little bit. Please turn to your neighbor and say hi, say hello if you don't know somebody.
All right, so what I think I'm going to do, if we're going to start in about 10 minutes, we're going to turn the music up. I'm going to go into the crowd, and I'm going to see if we can get some interviews while we're waiting for things to get started. Safety Brigade is here. It's good to see them here.
I wanted to come say hi to you.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done some volunteering with the Seattle Protest.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
I just wanted to come say hello.
Yeah.
I'm Priya.
Hey,
Super
Priya.
nice to meet
Super
you.
nice to meet you
Thanks for
too.
doing what you do.
Thank you for connecting with us and respecting and helping us and amplifying the Black voices. We just want to amplify the Black voices, right? We're very committed to telling all sides of the story, right? We've been to the Blue Lives Matter rallies.
Yeah.
I've run with the direct action crew and the ED, right? So literally, we're telling every side of the story,
You're doing
right?
an amazing job. Make sure you get rest.
Definitely do it definitely try to practice self-care. And I appreciate that. But if you are first of all, you don't even have to be signed up for Twitch. Can I, you okay? Go on. Oh, sure. I was just saying, it's like I'm gonna go find some people to interview. So here's the good news. You don't even have to be signed up for Twitch. You can go to twitch.tv and just look for Seattle Protest Network. And Seattle Protest Network generally has a feed. They don't have a feed 24/7, but you guys have a feed maybe 8 or 12 hours a day going.
Yeah.
And they have this composite feed, typically of say 4 to 8 different things that are going on all around the country. So if you're like, hey, what's going on? That is a great place to go and look. It's another thing, like if things are spicy, if you're watching an event and like, oh man, I can't believe what I'm seeing. SPN, especially if there's multiple local streamers, sometimes in Portland, sometimes in Seattle, they will put up those multiple streams. And that has become really critical for the legal defense of some people. I was told yesterday that the woman that was in the pink that was arrested a few nights ago, that all her charges were dropped. I was told that last night.
That's amazing.
I don't know if that's true, but because there were 2 streamers there and 2 different angles, it was very clear that not only did she not do anything at all, but she was a victim, right?
Absolutely.
And it was just crystal clear.
Yeah. Well, I think, we have always centered Seattle voices and what's happening in our city, but unifying ourselves with groups in other areas and getting to know the streamers and the groups that aggregate the streams in Portland. We want to show that we are all unified together, and the work that you do along with, those of us that help put the streams together, we're showing a side of the story that the major media won't cover.
Yes, exactly.
And it's a really important thing to do, so super grateful for you, man. Really really
Well, I appreciate it. You know, and like one of the things I was thinking this morning, if people, like the ENDD crew last night, if people just saw the mainstream media version of things, all they would have saw was the direct action.
Yeah.
And oh, they're awful and they're terrible. They would have not seen the feeding of the homeless, the ministering to the homeless and the unhomed that was going on by that exact same group of people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a story and it's complicated. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to you, and if you watch the streams, you know, people have to stop thinking in binary. They can't just look at things as good, bad, black, white, right, wrong, ugh, ugh. Because it's way more complicated than that.
Absolutely, and it is that binary kind of thinking. It has led to this more divisive sort of rhetoric, and you see it all the time in the SPN chat.
Totally.
And one of the cool things that our moderators do is try to stimulate good conversation while not allowing for sort of people to just come in and hate.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a comfortable place for people to come and talk also.
And a big shout out to all of the mods for all of the streamers.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you, it's like a form of self-abuse to have to moderate some of those comments. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Absolutely.
It's really hard.
Yep. Come on.
Yeah, because people say the crap thinking it's breaking the streamers' hearts.
Yeah.
We're out here filming. We're most of the time not looking at your comments. And all you're doing is amplifying our signal. And we love you for amplifying our signal. But for the mods, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who have to deal with the violence and the poison.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for and thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
This is my neighborhood.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't know
happy to be a
that.
part of this community,
I used to
so.
live just up the road here. I moved in 2012, but I used to just live up the road here.
Yeah. It's a
And
great city. I'm super proud to be here. It's awesome.
Shoreline PD has quite the reputation.
Yes, they do.
And that reputation is earned and it's had it for decades. And I say that as somebody who lived up the road. If there's one
I'm
thing,
a much more recent transplant, but
if there's one thing you can say about Shoreline PD, they are equal opportunity a-holes.
good to know. I appreciate that. Well, carry on. Thanks so much.
Thank
for what
you. There you go.
Huh?
How are y'all doing?
Good.
Would it be okay if I interviewed any of you, or
Sure, that's fine.
yeah?
Kids okay with that? Yeah. Are you interested in interviewing the organizers?
I've already talked with them, so I'm waiting for things to just get started. So I'm kind of walking through and right now and just having people talking to people in the crowd.
Yeah.
So let me do this real quick.
Come on, kids. You guys all get together. This is for all you guys.
Can I bring my sign?
Sure, bring your sign. What press are you with?
So I'm with Malcontentment Tango. We're part of Ben Hill Group LLC.
Okay.
And so we're very active with following all of the Black Lives Matter activity that's been going on since May. So I always tell people, because we're streaming, I generally don't recommend last names, but if you don't want to use names at all, that's fine too.
Okay.
And I'll just, or you can hand that to someone with a pocket.
Yeah.
So why are you all here today? I mean, I know why you're here today, right? But why are you here today?
I grew up in and around Shoreline. I went to school in Shoreline. My children go to school in Shoreline. My nieces, this is my new buddy. We all are from here. And when we hear that youth here are being threatened, we're all going to show up to show support, because it's not okay. We're here to protect the children. I'm here to protect mine and the other kids. And we have to send a message that that kind of action and those treatments are not okay. And we're not going to accept it here in Shoreline, in Lake Forest Park, in Mount Lake Terrace, in Lake City, in surrounding areas. It's not acceptable. We're all humans and we all need to stick together, whatever side of the fence or whatever side of history people stand on. So, yeah, do you guys have anything to say?
Yeah, I would love to hear if any of you just talk. I know everyone's,
It's all right.
I know it's kind of a scary looking rig, right? I mean, scary in the sense like, oh man, he's got 3 cameras and they're all pointing at me. That's it, but it's okay.
Go ahead, you kids. Anyone?
Anyone?
I'm
I knew you wanted to talk. I could see it. So go ahead. Just
I'm here because I'm third generation passing through Shoreline here. My dad went here. My grandma went here.
Could you speak up just a little bit so they can hear?
My grandma and grandpa also went here. And nothing has really changed from the time that they have been here. It's all stayed the same. And I'm here to fight for more than just Black Lives Matter. Yeah, all lives matter, but we're saying that Black lives don't matter any less. We're not saying that they matter any more, but they definitely shouldn't matter less.
What do you say to city leaders as a youth, right? Because it shouldn't have had to come to this, right? This has been going on for 3 weeks, and the only reason this is happening today is this ended up on blast on social media. And then the city of Shoreline released a statement when they could no longer control the narrative. That's what we say in the media. They can't control the story anymore, right? It's out of their control. Then the city of Shoreline did the press release going, well, we're aware of all this stuff going on and we're going to look into it. What do you say to city leaders as a youth in this community?
I say that it shouldn't have to be a social media blast just for them to say something about it. They should have been doing this way before any of this happened. And the fact that they haven't done that means that some people might need to just change in there. Like, I don't know, I'm not saying people need to get fired or anything, but if that's what has to happen, then so be it. Like, it shouldn't have to come to this just for them to start saying so.
Love it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anything anybody want to close with real quick?
Anybody?
Can you give me a Black Lives Matter? All right. Thank you.
I did the and I think when I did it.
All right. Crowd is still building, and they're still doing chalk art. I love this. I love this.
I love that.
Because this is truth right here.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
This is probably some of the best sidewalk art I have ever seen, because this just nails it.
I got another thing for you right now. Or I'll help you. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Just curious what press outlet you're with so I know what to look for.
yeah. So I'm with Malcontentment Tango. We're part of that.
Oh, great, thanks.
And there's a card for you.
Are you on the web then? Is
Yeah.
that where I would see your content?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like to tell me why you're here today?
Not on camera.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
But it's the Facebook side. Is that the place to go?
Yep, exactly.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Guess who's here? Everyone's least favorite biblical troublemaker. And de-escalation team is over there to make sure that everyone's least favorite disruptor in the city of Seattle is here. By the way, if you're just like, oh, look what they're doing, it's so awful. I will tell you right now, at the Blue Lives Matters that we've covered, they run him off too. When he shows up at Safeco Field or the Clink for the football, baseball, and soccer games, because yes, he shows up there for that too. He gets run off. He is not someone, there's been like, oh, he has a mental illness, or no, he's not. He is literally just a full-on troll. And he also owns a roofing business, by the way. So just know who you're working with. To the part of the groups that always say, hey, get a job, you know, you should go talk to that guy. I mean, he has a job, but I'm not exactly sure when he actually works on roofs. Oh, there's some great chalk art going down here. Just some great chalk art. It looks like organizers are just about ready. Yeah, music just kind of stopped. I'm going to go ahead and start moving up. I think they're about ready.
Alright, go ahead, Lynette. Lynette, go.
Hello. Hello, Shoreline. All right. So nice to see all of you. I'm going to be really brief. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for coming for our Shoreline Rally for Youth. Because today is all about our Black and brown youth. So we're going to get started. My name is Lynette Jordan. Kaylin Jordan is my niece. And I just wanted to kick us off by taking a moment to honor and pay respect to the indigenous lands that we are currently standing on so that we can start our event with love, compassion, and kindness toward each other and one another. So thank you, Shoreline, for showing up. We're going to start off with two of our youth, our amazing youth, Sedella and Kiara, to really get it started. Black National Anthem.
Go forward to the side. Go take your mask off.
Take your mask off.
Introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Sedella. I go to Kellogg Middle School. I'm 11 years old and I'm in 6th grade.
Hey y'all, I'm Kiara. I'm 12 and I also go to Kellogg Middle School as a 7th grader.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. We sing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
there's another, if you hear me talking, there's just another photographer trying to work.
Again, this event is about our youth, and it's about how we as adults can uplift and protect our youth. So we're gonna have one of our moms come up and speak. Ricky.
Hello, hello. I see people out here defending our youth right now, right before us. Imagine that every day, every day, every day. One of our children comes home and tells us a story that happened to them inside their classroom. Every day. What is happening right over there to your right is happening to our children in the classroom almost on a daily. If it's not the teachers, if it's not the principals, not all of them are bad. Nope, not all of them are bad, but it's the small things, everybody. It's the small things. So let them handle that, and everybody stay up here. Keep your eyes and ears on us up here, because that's what you are here for. I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up on social media. Thank you for spreading the word. It was like a fire that rapidly went through. Some of you didn't get to see the signal smoke. Some of you didn't get to see that or witness it, but you heard and you showed up, and this is great, so thank you. So I'm gonna keep it short because it's about the babies today. But here's what I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you that, like I said at the rally around Caitlin and her family at Paramount Park, is that you keep challenging what's happening in our classrooms. You ask your babies when they come home, who did you talk to? If you haven't talked to somebody new, then you're not doing enough for your neighbor. We have to love our neighbors. We have to appreciate the differences and recognize that our differences are beautiful. And don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Because there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of fear. And fear's a liar. But it's also very, very real, very real. We have watch parties sitting right now at individuals' homes just in case. Just in case. That's not all right. It's not all right to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's not what we were designed to be here for. We were designed to love. We were designed to be prosperous. So I encourage you, get to know the city council members. Ask them what they've been doing for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Because everybody up here has been doing this type of work for a decade, if not more. If there are people like you that are doing it as well, keep going. Keep going. Keep going, because it's not just these last few months. It's been happening in this district. I got friends my age, 05, friends older than that. We got a couple of them out here right now who have a story to say that this stuff's been happening in this district for far too long. The family back here, 40 years, 30 years, not okay. Not okay. So get to know city council, get to know what's being taught in schools. Ask your babies, who'd they talk to? What did you recognize in the classroom? How can you improve the classroom? How can you improve what you're being taught, what your kids are being taught? Thank you so much. Keep your focus up here today.
Somebody's asking in the audience, where's the school board, where's the city council, why are they not here today?
I really want to stress that we as the adults, as the parents, as the relatives, as the friends, we need to be strong, positive role models for these youth. They need to see that we can take care of what we need to take care of so our children can feel safe. These kids should not be doing the work to make themselves feel safe. That is our job. That is your job as people in the city of Shoreline. And guess what, neighbors of Shoreline? I do not care if you are uncomfortable. Try existing your entire life uncomfortable. Don't come to me about being uncomfortable today. Not okay. Done. So I want to introduce our next speaker, Kaylin.
We as Black youth should not have to work more than the adults who are supposed to do this for us. We deserve to be kids. We deserve to be teenagers. Because we talk only to get ignored, we work only to get ignored, we march only to get ignored, and we protest to only get ignored. But yet you show love when it benefits you, not us. Showing real love to the fake ones and fake love to the real ones. Black lives matter, but only at your benefit. They say I support you, but what? They say it makes them uncomfortable, but we've been uncomfortable. We've been working, we've been marching, we've been protesting, but then you want to walk up self-righteous and entitled telling us to tone it down because we're being too loud. But you will not silence us anymore. Black lives matter no matter what anyone says. Black lives matter whether you like it or not.
Spam those hearts. Spam those hearts.
You call me a racist because you can't learn to face it. You're filled with privilege. But your fragile ego can't admit that there is no only in front of Black Lives Matter. You're saying all lives matter, but your code for white lives matter sounds like white fragility, like white only water fountains, like water hoses. Thinking water can hurt us, but you're out here scared of teenagers with a voice. We cannot hurt you. You're scared because you know the truth. You know that Black lives matter. We say Black lives matter because all lives weren't forced into chains, all lives aren't targeted in their own neighborhoods, and all lives aren't sprayed down with water hoses. If all lives matter, then we wouldn't be here right now. If all lives really matter to you, then you wouldn't have a problem with us protesting. You see two sides and you believe the lies, because don't nobody want to believe a Black girl. You say I'm uneducated, but you should be the ones educating yourself. Because I speak my mind, I'm a ghetto Black girl, I never have to prove myself to you. I never have to prove my knowledge to you, and I never have to prove my trauma to you, because it's there to see, and you're blinded by hate and ignorance. Riding high, think you know everything, like everyone is going to cater to you because of the privilege in your skin. You think you can silence me, but you can kill the revolutionary, but you can never kill the revolution. I'm no longer standing alone, and they all mad, and they mad and alone too. Your fake apologies are not going to stop me because you ain't sorry. You just want to make yourself look better. But hate ain't cute. Racism ain't cute. We see it every day. We know it ain't cute. Don't be afraid to use your voice. If you see something, say something.
Spam those hearts. Powerful stuff. For those of you just tuning in, we are live in Shoreline, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle, for a Black Lives Matter activist action happening at the Shoreline City Hall and Police Department.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. One thing I hope that we can all reflect about and think about is this is our future, right? These are the young people who are going to be making decisions for us in 20, 30 years, right? So what side of history do you all want to be on? I want to be on their side. Our next speaker is a very well-known youth activist. So Michaela, come on up.
If you do this work, you probably know me. I'm a 17-year-old incoming senior at Shorecrest High School. Can't hear me? I'm a 17-year-old Shorecrest student. And I mean, the only reason why I stayed there is so I could, finish my work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there, honestly. Like, there's just so much trauma that these schools hold, and there's so much trauma that we have to go through. Kaylin is so smart and intelligent, and so are all of we. You just heard her, right? She's saying that after she's been hosed. She's saying that after she's been chased with cars. we all have the courage and bravery to do this, and yet we are seen as walking targets. We are seen as dumb. We are seen as uneducated in our own classrooms. And it takes so much for people to even believe us. It takes so much. We all see the article. If you didn't see that article yet, that was published from Shoreline Area News, look at it and see how they think about us. If you haven't read the article, let me tell you this. They're trying to start a conspiracy about a group of teenagers that we're like anti-cops and pinning other graffiti and just stuff like that on us, on Kaylin, saying that Kaylin made the story up. Well, we all saw people hosing her, people just coming for her on her own property. And so, Shoreline, you have to stand up for this. It's not in the hands of the youth all the time. We are teenagers, we are kids. If you see us, treat us like teenagers, treat us like kids. Yes, we are activists, yes, we are smart, yes, we are strong Black women and men, but we are also kids and teens, and you should respect us and treat us like kids and teens, because we are not 20, we are not 30, we are not in college, we are in high school and middle school. Treat us like you would treat your kids. Like, if you go do the dishes, go do your chores, like, treat us like kids. I want to be a kid. Yes, I am an activist. Yes, we do all this powerful, amazing stuff. Yes, I'm opening a business right there. Yes, I'm doing that. Black Coffee Northwest. Yes, Black Coffee Northwest. But I am still a 17-year-old, and yes, I am still gonna have fun and be loud with my friends. And when you see that, don't be freaked out. Don't do what my teachers have done. Don't do what the white saviors have done. Made me feel like I had to be the strong one and the powerful one all the time. I am 17 years old. When there's music on, I'm gonna dance to it. I'm gonna be loud. We are all kids, okay? So treat us like we're kids. You as adults should be able to organize things and do things on your own. Yes, have the Black boys included, but have us included, and that's it. We don't have to be on the front lines every single day. Every single day we are talking on that street. Every single day. You guys can organize. You guys have jobs, businesses. I don't know, use Google Drive, whatever. Like, y'all know how to do this stuff. Just include us. You just don't want to do it. I'm holding you guys accountable. Yes, you guys came out here, and I really appreciate you guys coming out here making the signs, but I need you to do the work from now on. Because it's not just gonna be Black teenagers. Black teenagers and kids take on this burden. We cannot take on this burden any longer. I should be worried about school starting right now. I should be worried about the SAT and the ACT and getting to college. I should not be outside every day, talking, protesting every other week. You think I want to do this? Honestly, I don't want to have to do this. So for you guys to come out here, all of us, for you guys to all come out here, thank you so much, but I really need us all to do the work in school, anywhere. You see a racist neighbor, call them out. It doesn't matter if they're nice and they make cookies for their block every day. Who cares? They don't make cookies for Black people, so that's a problem, right? Call it out. I don't care if you're nice. I don't care if you're caring. You need to hold those people accountable. Use your privilege to hold them accountable, because it's not the Black youth's job. Yes, we do it, but we don't do it for fun. It's not fun to us. It's draining to us. We should be worried about school. We should be worried about what we're gonna wear. We should be worried about normal things and not our lives being at stake and fighting for our lives every single day. So you guys know all our ask for our contact info, ask for our emails, and help us out. Yes, you can donate stuff, but I mean, if you really just go into the systems and help us, just help us. Undo the systems. Yes, you can show up to these protests, make a sign, but if you undo these systems, that's the best thing we can do right now, because it's not our burden and it's not our thing to take on. We don't want to. We don't want to do this. Yes, we want to, but we have to. We have to do this. So I'm asking you, just closing, just to help us and change these systems with us. We are still kids.
Thank you, Michaela. You are an amazing youth leader for the youth you are working with, and I think we can all say that we're very proud of you. And we hope that you continue to pay attention to what it means to be a 17-year-old, to what it means to be a 13-year-old, instead of what it means to have to endure hate, racism, anger, and violence. Our kids should not have to experience that. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Eternity.
Hi, my name's Eternity. I go to Kellogg Middle School. I'm 13. I just want to make this kind of like short and simple. I just want to say we're not a threat. We're not a weapon. We're not a pass for you to say the N-word. We should not have to worry every single day, are we going to get shot? Are we going to get judged or hate or like just because of the color of our skin? We are a human being as everybody else. Like, our skin color should not have to dictate whether we're equal with everybody else or not.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, thank you.
It's so awesome to see how these young leaders work together and share their words with all of you. It's not easy to get up and stand in front of a group of people. It's really scary and it's intimidating. So I would hope that we can all give these youth another round of applause.
Spam those hearts. Spam those hearts. Keep spamming those hearts.
All right. So part of youth leadership includes a lot of activities. It doesn't just include activism. We have a group of young ladies here today with the Northwest Step Team, and we are Northside Step Team, and they are going to perform for us in collaboration with Sedella and Kiera.
Hello? Okay, hey. So, hello everyone. I am Darnisha. I am the director of Northside Step Team, and so excited for them to be here today. We also have our coaches here. We have Coach Denise that's here in the house. That's also a coach of these girls. I don't know who knows what Step is. Okay. All right. I'm amongst friends. So, stepping is historically rooted in African culture. Stepping came to America as a way of communication. And so that's exactly who we are. We are Northside Step Team, and we teach these kids to use disrupt in every play. Disrupt in every platform. They travel all over the country. The PT is like, oh, come let the girls perform. And I'm like, are you sure? Because their message will never change. Never. We perform for the PTAs, we perform at the school district many times intentionally, because I know that if I put the kids on the stage, oh, that's cute, but they're coming with fire. Please know. These kids are coming with fire everywhere they go, and my goal with them as their leader is to teach them to be dangerous in every space. Look at these teachers, look at these kids. If they're in your classroom, know that they come with all of us. Every week we teach them. They're learning about microaggressions. They're learning about gaslighting. We're calling it out. We're giving them the language. So school district equity teams, you better catch up. Because we're not talking about complacency or tolerance anymore. We're talking about justice, removing barriers, and Black liberation. That is a very different trajectory than equity team. Equity team starts the conversation. Justice is where we're headed. Liberation is what our goal is. So they're talking a different language than you. They're talking a different language than all of you in this neighborhood. I need you to catch up. Catch up. Because they're gonna call your microaggression out loud. They're gonna say that's a microaggression, and we've taught them the system, how to access it, how to report bullying. We went through that, we practiced it with them. No more. So go home and get it in. All I have to tell you is #catch up, because these kids are gonna be dangerous in every single space that they're in intentionally. No more cute, no more let's talk about it, and hold each other's hand and cry. We don't have time for that no more because their lives are at stake and we are done. No more. I need all of my black students, I don't care if you're from here or not, you come to the front. All the black kids and families, I want you in the front because this day in Shoreline is about you. You don't get to be in the back no more. Come to the front so your babies can see what they're about to do up here. I want you to hear all the speakers. So all the black folks, come to the front. Don't be scared. Come on up. Let your babies be in the front so they can see black brilliance. Let your babies be in the front so they can see black women and black men leading. Put your babies in the front because they don't see it in their classroom. They don't see it in their neighborhood. They don't see it in their church. They don't see it anywhere, so bring them to the front so they can see, because all of these black men and women around here are working hard to make sure we don't want them to have to be our age doing the same thing. Think about that. My mom did this, my grandparents did this, I'm doing this, my daughter's doing this, they're doing this. We got these babies out here around this work. We don't want them to have to do it. We want Drielle to have a summer where she's just kicking it, playing in the pool. Not 12, telling adults, grown folks, how to not kill them, harass them, or write ridiculous and stupid articles like who's here from Shoreline Area News? I heard she's here. Diane? She's here, right? Put her in the front so she can see how much trash she wrote and how she threatened their lives. Where is she? She's here. Where is she? Somebody point her out. Don't be scared. Don't be scared now because you had a whole lot of stuff to say on Shoreline Area News about Kaylin. So where you at, boo? Come out. I know she's scared. Don't ever write that crap again about these kids. That was trash. And I will be on, everybody like, what? Somebody's like, calm down. I'll be on every comment and I will shut everybody down on the internet. I do not care. You're not going to come for these babies. So if I got to be internet troll, like you want to be internet troll, the baby, tap, 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 enter. I'll be in my phone checking all you about these babies. And I need the rest of the neighborhood to rally up. Shoreline Area News is trash. I do not care. That was whack. You put this baby in danger. You discredit her. You called her 20 years old. 20. So everybody write them a letter. Right? Tell Diane to go home and go have a seat. All right, here we go. Sorry. I'll introduce you the rest of my team.
a lover and a fighter.
you. Back them up, 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 back them up. Back the kids up, back them up, please. He's right here in the red. He's right here in the red. Right here in the red t-shirt. In the red t-shirt. Kids, families, come forward. We have security that's around you. Black people come to the front on the stage. Black people come to the front on the stage. Black families come to the front on the stage, please.
So there you go. This is what it's like to be black in America.
All right. We're gonna keep going. He's just here to distract us. So everyone turn your attention this way. We have handled that situation. Thank you. We're gonna go back to our kids. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Back here. Don't let those people distract us from this message. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Are you guys back here? Perfect. I'm gonna hand it back to Sedella. Ricardo Innocent, come to the stage, please. Ricardo Innocent, come to the page, please.
He's right there in the front. The children.
There you go.
Let your voice be heard. We were born to stand out with action behind every word. No man deny me of opportunities destined for me. I will continue to be a queen, a warrior, a lover, and a fighter. A master. I don't need your permission to turn my dreams into a reality. Living on the victories of the mental wars my ancestors fought. This black life will make a difference whether you like it or not. North side, step by step. North side, step by step.
Thank you, step team. Give them another hand. So I just want to say that was cute, right? What they just did up here, that was super cute. We did that. So if you know that we've been trying to start a step team like this at Shorecrest and Shorewood, just so the black kids can have a voice, and we've had so much red tape and pushback, probably from y'all in the audience. Okay, so whoever had an issue with that about them doing like Black History assemblies and all the things that they want to do, this is the group of kids that you've been saying no to. This is the group of kids that you've been putting red tape up at. I will not step foot into Shorewood High School. We will not engage with Shorewood High School because of some crap like that. So I need you guys, this is cute, but you need to go back and take this same energy and disrupt and use your privilege so they can have space and so they can be in places. I don't want you to keep coming here and just watching it like it's a performance. This is not a performance. I challenge everyone in this audience to go back to your schools and disrupt. Go back to your schools and listen to them and hear what they're saying and go in the classroom and challenge those teachers and challenge those gatekeepers. There's so many gatekeepers at Shoreline School District that is nauseating. I wanted to give up and be like, I don't even care about that district anymore because I'm done working with them. But we cannot because these are our babies and they're being traumatized every day. Every day. But we do have some teachers in the audience. So teachers, raise your hand. Don't be scared. I appreciate you for being here because I know it was a sketchy line to cross. It was more like, can I even be a part of this work because I might get in trouble at school. I appreciate you for stepping out and being brave and standing up with your students because we need you. So thank you for being here. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of our school staff that is here. Now this is what you need to go do. Go back and gather up all your friends. Go back and gather up all your homies out in the teacher's lounge, talking crap about these kids and get them together. Start challenging them in the teacher's lounge, in the hallway, at your meetings that you have about special education. You don't know about discipline in black kids. You know the crap happens. Disrupt it or don't even come here no more because I'm not going to let our kids be your entertainment. Go back and gather up your friends and get it together.
Thank you for those words, Darnisha. As someone who started school in the Shoreline School Districts over 40 years ago, it's heartbreaking and I'm tired of hearing about this and talking about this. So I really want to encourage people to please listen to what Darnisha said and take action that you know will be meaningful for our youth. Before we continue on our agenda, Kaylin would like to say something to all of you.
I'm gonna take a shot over your shoulder. I just didn't want you to be like and move because you're
Look
fine.
at the black
You're
youth
gonna think
up
you're in my
here.
way, but you're not.
We're not fazed by what's happening. We know people don't like us. This is how we live our life. This is what we're used to. We're not shocked. We expected this. Why do you think we have all this security? We can't even walk around without being scared. There is security in front of my house right now because I can't live in peace because of y'all neighbors. These are your neighbors. Look at your neighbors. This is what we go through. Some of y'all scared right now. This is how we live our lives every day. We didn't get to choose. All of you choose to be here right now. You choose to put yourselves in danger. We don't choose this. We're walking targets. People can shoot us whenever they want and get away with it. Don't nobody care about us. They don't care about us. Look at them. These are your neighbors. Y'all better hold them accountable. We're used to this. We don't have to do this no more. This is your job. This is your problem, not ours. We should be able to have fun during our summer. Y'all be having fun? After this, who knows what you're gonna do? We live in fear. You have the privilege because your skin color has never made your life harder. Your life may be hard, but your skin color has never made it harder. That's what you need to realize. Just because you're white doesn't mean you had an easy life. It's never been harder because of your skin color.
Thank you.
everyone that I see, every white person, so you may think that you're not racist. And you may think all this stuff, and you might come to all these Black Lives Matter protests. And the thing is that you guys say, oh, we're here for you. We got your back. Some people, that's true, until you clutch your purse in an elevator. My best friend who lives in West Seattle, her dad was in an elevator and he got called on the police just for being in an elevator with a white person. For nothing. And the thing is, you guys gotta take control because you guys keep coming to all of these protests being like, we got you, we got your back, but then do something about it. Because you coming here and saying we got your back ain't gonna do nothing. You gotta go with your white privilege up to City Hall, right here. On Monday. And do something about it. Because every time that we want to come up here and talk to the people who are so racist, all I see is a bunch of black people, and then there's another protest, and there's a bunch of white people, but you guys aren't doing nothing.
Oh, yes.
Take action! Thank you.
Spam those hearts, spam those hearts.
Thank you, Kaylin. Thank you, Sedella. Now the youth have asked that we have an adult activist share some words with all of you. So we'd like to present Patrick, who is an activist in Seattle and beyond. Patrick.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to start off by saying that don't mind those clowns over there on the left. It doesn't really matter. They're just making noise to me, honestly. But I do want to say something. Ignorance and bigotry is a privilege. I'm going to say it again. Ignorance and bigotry is a privilege. See, now I had the fortune of being in Selma, Alabama, March 7th in 2015. I stood up 7 hours to watch the Honorable John Lewis speak to a crowd of 100,000 people, where 50 years earlier he was beat in the Edmund Pettus Bridge on Bloody Sunday. You guys know that history? I hope so. And I stood there 7 hours to watch the first black president of the United States of America, Barack Obama, speak to a crowd of 100,000 people, where 50 years earlier they were beat for the right to vote. I learned my history and I realized through going to Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, and seeing the fact that they put tax on the seats of students who are trying to learn. When I see Arthur and Lucy at the University of Alabama, they say, "Get out the plane, get that inbred out the plane," because I'm saying some real ass stuff right now. And I sit there, seeing all that it took for us for equal access, opportunity to learn, and I have to take a step back and go, let's look at history. Where do you get off taking ownership or supremacy and taking someone else's land? What is supreme about that? What is privilege about that? What is privilege about going to a continent, taking people from that continent, and then having them build this country, and then say, that's privilege, or that's a right? We built this country. Black lives don't just matter. Black lives are imperative. Black lives are the reason we're all here right now. So I don't get thanked for something I had to work for. Ignorance is the reason why you're comfortable. Imagine you don't have to be racist. Imagine being an older sibling. How many of you willingly have given up your privilege before? I'll sleep in this twin bed. You take take my California queen because your life matters? Said no one.
Right? Yes.
So when you tell me about Black Lives Matter, I don't, honestly, that means nothing to me because honestly it's mediocre. That just means that I exist. And I've done more for this country than just exist. You shouldn't listen to our music. Hip hop is the #1 global music genre in the world. How did hip hop form? From oppression. What is COINTELPRO? History is there. So the fact that ignorance has been allowed to perpetuate and permeate society has allowed for white people to say, you know what? We're supreme. It's ignorant to me.
Yes.
I don't find value in looking at anyone. I don't look down on anyone. The craziest thing, I don't say this in part of my language. You know what the craziest thing in America is? It's a nigga with a library card. Thank you.
Spam those hearts. Spam those hearts.
Thank you, Patrick. I feel very validated now with my library card that I've had since I was 4. Our next speaker will be Kiera.
Keep it up here! Up here! Your attention is here on these kids! Up here!
Okay, audience, whose lives matter? I'm not gonna let no white man take the show away from these babies because I have what happens every single day. Don't let no white man come up here and take your attention away from her. Everybody turn your face. I'm not even gonna let her talk until you're all looking this way. I'm not gonna let her talk over that crap. Fist up if you hear me. If you hear me. Like Silent Coyote in class, fist up if you hear me. She's talking, pay attention. Thank you.
Black lives, black youth, black women, black men. These are our people. Our people who we fight for, we shout for, we give it all for them, just so our people can be free. Be free from the 10 dual commandments of which we call racism. From 1, self-image shame, to 9, death, to 10, rallies and riots and protests. And our youth, they are constantly being judged and told we are not good enough for this world. Because we're too ghetto, our hair is too messy, and we're too hood for this classroom, or we're too hood for this country, or we're too hood for this world. So we fight for our brothers and sisters who have been still suffering or have suffered. And do the predators to our people wake up? No. When will the Sleeping Beauty curse just go away? When will they get their kiss of the voice of an activist who's been building palaces and cathedrals out of speeches for them to wake up? And that's why we're here, to protect our people.
Spam those hearts.
We can recognize just a little bit of what's happening behind you. Imagine that just a little bit of fraction of staff members talking about your kids, your friends, your kids' friends. Because that kind of stuff, just like that kick, that falling in the bushes, all that anger and animosity, it is a silent killer happening in the school, okay? So just like everybody been out here preaching, you have to get to know what's happening in the classrooms. You have to come show up Monday on the online forum Zoom meeting for city council. They meet on Mondays. You have to, like Sadella said, do something about it. Do something about it. Because what's happening back there, it's happening all the time, just not as loud and aggressive. So that's why I say know your neighbor. Know them. and make sure that you support these kids and support your friends that look not like you, that don't have that you just don't know what they're going through. The goal is that everybody has an equal opportunity, an equitable opportunity. All right? We have people up here we have come here. We have workshops. We actually have workshops. If you haven't gone and done them, we have workshops here to help you learn the vocabulary and education. I'm going to pass the mic off to her right now.
These kids speak for all of us so well, and I don't want to have them doing this like we are right now when they're grown. I am offering classes, sessions. They are paid sessions. They're on Eventbrite. They are through Darnisha Weary's Let's Do Work.org website. And microaggressions has been a real hit. I'm leading 4 of those, and that's been a big one. Tomorrow is how to be an ally. Ideally, we want accomplices, but we're going to start with ally because most people know that language and know that word. And we need you. We need you more than ever. This is like a movie scene to me that we are not in the 1960s right now, that we are in 2020. I like to remind my fellow Christians, particularly, that Jesus was a disruptor. MLK was a disruptor.
He was also a dark-skinned Jew.
Over and over again. Not a law-abiding citizen at all. MLK was not. And I just like to remind people that yes, he was a preacher, he was an activist, pastor, great man, but he chose to break the law with a family at home, over and over and over again. Good trouble, that's right. And I just want you. I want to invite you to join those sessions, register, sign up. I'm pushing them out to Black Lives Matter Shoreline, to Edmund's Moms, to Raising Up LFP. My family, my children are directly impacted by the actions and the systemic mess going on right now. So y'all better do the work. Do the work, please. Thank you. Let's Do Work.org. Again, you can register there for classes. Those are always there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. I hope people can follow up with that. Thank you, Rick. We're going to have one more speaker, another youth activist who has been very supportive of Kaylin and her family. So I'd like to welcome up Fall.
Hello, everyone. Okay, not gonna lie, I have been shaking from such pure emotion these past few hours. So I'm gonna start by, I think, speaking my truth. I've been here for the past few months supporting all the protests led by these brave Black youth, but for years and years on end. I've lived in Ridgecrest 10 years, and I made the choice to be quiet. I made the choice to not speak up when these things have been impacting our neighborhood, have been existing for too long. So I really do owe everything to these youth here and the Black youth out there who have been here, who have been allowing me to live. And so I'll start by saying that with the phrase Black Lives Matter, yes, it has been turned into an abbreviation. You know, there's the BLM in the bios. You know, there is the statements that are saying we recognize Black Lives Matter. And as has been said, Black Lives Matter, it says we're allowed to exist, but we have to go beyond to believe that we belong. And that means that our voices have to belong. Our truth has to belong, because there's a lot of gaslighting right now, a lot. It is subtle, it is poisonous, it is toxic, and it just can't outshine what we have, our starlight, and our truth. And this past few weeks, I've been listening to a lot of soul music, predominantly by Black artists. And I just want to say, beyond our beings, while we're turned into tokens, while we're turned into hashtags, while we're turned into symbols, figments of your imagination that are not real, there are souls. There are such deep souls. And that is what we should be listening to. That is the truth. That is the only truth that you should be listening to. And I am in awe of the support here. And I just want to keep telling everyone to keep listening to the souls of Black youth, to keep listening to the souls of Black beings that have been here for so long. There are a lot of different trains of thought here, so excuse me if I'm rambling. But I think that our souls, we have sacrificed so much for each other. We have been calling for us to unify, to not divide, and that should just be what matters. That is what matters. And I've been hearing a lot of people say that they've been in Ridgecrest and Shoreline, for decades and decades. Okay, then recognize that your roots may have racism. Your roots of racism run deep. And it will hurt to uproot them, but it is necessary. It is so necessary for us to blossom. Let Black Lives Matter blossom, not just exist. Let it blossom. That's all I have. Thank you.
Before our next speaker, we have a lost wallet. Brian Jukes. Is there Brian Jukes here who wants to come get his wallet? Okay. So on our agenda is Ms. Darnisha Weary.
Okay, sorority. I see you. I'm in Rosanna Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and they came out to Showline to stand with their sis. I love you. Thank you. So I'm Darnisha Weary. Man, we've been doing this every day, every weekend, every hour, because we really do care and we want our children to be successful. We know the damage has been done. We know we cannot fix the past. What we can do is recognize that it happened and continue to tell the story, because every time these kids have to tell their story, it's traumatic for them. So they should only have to tell you once that something was wrong. They should only have to tell you once in the classroom that they feel offended or something was said. You force them to read all this classic literature with the N-word. They know what that means. They don't want to read that stuff, but they're being forced to. And so you need to listen. I need you to all listen. That's the call to action today. All of you white people that want a checklist, what do I do? Where do I start? What do I do? And I was talking to Bernice last week. We were talking about what do they do? Listen. Right? If you have to put a sticky note and say, I just need to listen, that is it. That is your assignment. You don't need to do anything but that. Listen, and whatever they say, believe it. Even if you don't understand it, believe it. Even if you don't agree, believe it. Don't make them don't force them to have to beg you to believe them in their experience. I want all of my African immigrant families, are you guys here? Are you here, all my Eritrean, Habesha sisters and brothers? We know the damage that has been done because the school district sees us as a monolith. They see us as a one-dimensional person. They don't understand that there are two different. We need to work with our immigrant families much differently than we do with our Black American families. They don't understand that. And so we want to make sure that you know this movement is for you as well, because we know you stay away because your teachers have told you that this is not for you. This is for you as well, because you have Black skin, You are our brothers and our sisters, and we want to connect with you. Don't listen to the white people trying to tell you to separate us, to divide and conquer, because that's what they're doing. They don't know it because they're blind to it, but that's what they're doing. Black people are not monolith. Go home and Google that word. We have many different layers to us. There's a lot of research that y'all need to do. 400 years, you need to catch up. You ain't gonna catch up with 400 of them, but you can start today and do something. Listen to them. Listen to them and act and follow their lead. Now, to all of my white women in the audience who have found this new passion and cause to go and save these kids, they don't need you to save them. They don't need you to save them. They need you to stand with them. That's it. I don't need you to go make a new program, a new curriculum, a new whatever. We don't need that. We need you to, when they say, I don't like that in kindergarten because they don't know the word, they don't have the words to tell you that it's racist. Well, now these guys will. Bring me your black babies. We'll teach them the words to say. But most of your kids don't know the words. They just say, I didn't have a good day at school today. Parents, listen to that. Teachers, listen to that. We know who all the racist teachers are in this district. You want to know why? Because when school starts, we're not at Fred Meyer buying all the supply. We're doing that, but what we're doing, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you a little black people secret out here. We're comparing all of our kids' schedules to make sure that our kids are not in those classes. That's what we have to do. So some of you out here might be on that list, because best believe when they get their schedules, they take a picture of it and they put it on Instagram. Look at the pattern. Who has classes with me? And all of us will go scour those schedules and say, pull them out of that class. That teacher, no, take them out of that class. And we will go down to the district and have them change schedules, just so they can get out of probably some of you here's class. That says a lot. We rally behind our youth to make sure they're protected. We tell our kids, when you get suspended from school, I know as a black mom that my kid can get suspended at any time, any day. So I tell my son and daughter, if you get suspended from school and you were doing right, you're not in trouble at home. We don't care.
A black student is 380% more likely to be suspended than a white student.
I'm like, if you're in school
according to the
teacher's
Department of
tripping, you get in
Education.
trouble, go to the office and sit there, say, call my mama, because I'm going to come up there and act a complete fool. I'll pick you up, you can get suspended, we'll go home and have McDonald's, and I'm going to treat you because you did the right thing. Black families, facts. I'm not making it up. This is real. I know that my kid might get suspended. I know she would. My kid is a 4.0 student and wanted to be a part of the National Honor Society. Who knows who National Honor Society is? This is at Shorecrest High School. I won't name her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, who's over the National Honor Society, because she's also a Spanish teacher. My daughter submitted her application to her for National Honor Society, and she said, it's automatically rejected because I don't like your handwriting. Didn't even look at her transcript,
of
her
students
grades,
that are
her
gifted and
nothing,
talented
the
are not
handwriting.
referred to a gifted
And
and
they told her,
talented
if you bring
program.
your step team to perform at the ceremony and clean her classroom, that you can be a part of National Honor Society. That's what she did. And so Michaela talked to me and we had her do the step team piece, and Michaela went into the classroom and helped her, and I was pissed. I was livid, because what other white kid, they would never tell a white kid that. They will never tell a white kid that. I was livid. If you ever hear stuff like that, believe our kids. Believe them. I went up there all the time at Shorecrest and act a fool. I don't care. I don't care, but I need you guys to stand with us. When there's a student that's in trouble, when they're having a student meeting and it's a black student with a table of white people, look at the power dynamic in that. That is not okay. So black parents, if you're in the audience, even if you're a white parent and you have a black child and you need support, I say hootie hoo, we will show up. Because if you're a white parent with a black child in the district, you will not understand what it's like. You will not know how to help them. I'm just going to tell you now, you will not know how to help them. You will not know what to do. You need to let our Black leaders help you, because you're causing damage to those children. And they shouldn't have to be at home convincing their white mom that they feel racism at school too. Believe them and make sure you interrupt and show up for our babies, because this is our future. These kids have spoken, they speak well. They've spoken in front of city council. They have addressed city council in those chambers many times. Y'all just weren't paying attention. And somebody on Facebook, I won't name her name, so she has a Black husband, and she's been doing this work out here for much longer than the Black people, and she's white. I need you to go get your friends and tell them you don't know more than me about being Black, baby. I don't care who your boyfriend is. I don't care who your husband is. I don't care if your baby's got brown skin and curly hair. You will never know what it's like to be Black living in Shoreline. You will never know what it's like to be a Black man living in Shoreline. I don't even know that, and I live with one. He won't come out here. Do you see him here? He won't come here. I told him to stay away actually from this work, because he's gonna go in full protective mode, and when someone comes after me, he's going after them. But guess where he's gonna go? To jail or killed. Those are big facts. That's why we said Ricardo Innocent come to the stage to protect him. We gotta protect him because we know you won't. So I need you please to hear my words. Please hear my words. Take this time to listen and learn. School's about to start. Don't get right to business. I'm on those calls where teachers are preparing for school and they're ready to start teaching. You need to understand that these kids had a traumatic summer. They didn't go on vacation and go home and play video games with their families. One of them has 24-hour security inside of her house, armed security guards. These guys have had a traumatic summer. So if you don't address that on day one, you're trash. Period. Okay. And if you don't challenge your principals and your office staff to make sure it's embedded in a part of the back to school conversation, you are trash and I will call you out. Don't dismiss this experience because you gotta teach math. Don't dismiss this experience because you have a curriculum to get to. They have not had a great summer. Every Black student, every Black family has not had a great summer. So when school starts, acknowledge it. Whatever they tell you they need for support, do it. Do it. Do it different. Do it different. Don't do the same. Don't go home in a little notebook and write down how you're going to support the Black youth. Listen to what they're telling you and do it. Period. That's all I wanted to say for today. I want to tell you all, I do appreciate you, and I know the role of an ally. I know the role. I know that some of you white people have been showing up every day. We appreciate that. Show up, do the work, listen, learn, and disrupt, and that's it. That's all we need you to do at this time, because anything else can be very harmful. It's harmful to these kids when you want to be a white savior and do all these things without asking, because guess who has to come back and fix it and help them and restore them? Us, Black women, have to huddle up on a Monday night and hold them together like our babies and say, we are sorry for your white neighbors. We are sorry that they don't see you as a person. They don't value your life. They're mad over chalk art. Who knew that it was National Chalk Art Day? It's Chalk Month in Shoreline. Go to the website. They're giving out chalk here. The reason why your neighbors are pissed is because it says Black Lives Matter. That's the reason why they're mad, not because it's chalk, because guess what? Chalk exists, correct? Yes? Does sidewalk chalk exist? Who did hopscotch when you were little? Did we do hopscotch and draw things on the chalk? They're mad because it says Black Lives Matter. Tell your neighbor that you're mad because it says Black Lives Matter, because you're racist, and we don't run them out the neighborhood at this point. They gotta go because they're dangerous. They're dangerous people. They don't need to be comfortable in their house, like Kayla is not. They shouldn't be at home, kicked back, watching Friends or whatever. getting ready for pumpkin spice lattes in a month. Nobody cares about that. We want you to go do the work to make sure we don't have to do this anymore. Aren't you guys tired? We don't want to, I'm tired. We don't want to do this anymore. So please continue showing up and doing the work. We do appreciate you. Where's Kaylin? I call them my babies intentionally because Diane at Charlotte Area News thinks they're 20. So I call them my babies to make sure I don't make them adults because they're not adults, they're kids. These babies are studying every week anti-racist work. These kids are taking classes every week on social justice and systems. We talk about the library system, the government, city council is coming on next week. We're talking to these institutions. They're learning. We're teaching them the system on purpose because systems are what last. We don't want this work to live with people because she graduates next. How many seniors? We've got a lot of seniors up here. We're making systems to make sure they last. So your kids, so in the future, we don't have to keep doing this over and over again. And that's why I keep telling you adults to catch up because we're silent. We've been out here. I've been out here doing this work for 20 years. We had Sedella when she was 3 years old. So we've been out here, y'all just haven't been paying attention. But now that we have your attention, now that we have it, please go back and make sure that you're listening and elevating their voice in a different way. So if you want to checkbox something, write that down. How will I elevate a Black voice in a new and different way? Write it down in your little book. How will I disrupt racism in my classroom when I hear it and see it? Write it down in your little book. Make a plan. So you know what to do. So it's muscle memory when it's time. So when the noise comes, you know what to do. You know how to react. When you see that child, when they say that, they're having a bad time in class or they're falling behind. They're not falling behind in math because they want to. They're falling behind in math because the system was created to make sure they're not caught up with their white peers. The system is in place to make sure that they're not here with their white peers. So they're not falling behind on purpose. The system was created to make sure they don't succeed. That's what we're teaching them. I need you to hear that today. There's a system in place to make sure these kids don't graduate, these kids don't have proper health care. It's there to make sure that their lives are miserable. It's there. Go find out those systems, go find out those gatekeepers, start asking the questions. Best one is, why do you do it that way? Oh, because we've always done it that way. Let's do something different. Let's do something different. Be the brave one to say, let's do something different. Because obviously what you're doing, it ain't working. Can you agree with that? What you've been doing, is it working, yes or no? No. What you're doing, is it working, yes or no? No. So I need you to do something different. I need you to do something better. I need you to listen to them, lead behind them, and do something different so we don't have to keep doing this. So Shoreline can be a place where my black friends don't come out here. I was talking to my brother over here. My black friends don't come out here. When I say I live in Shoreline, what do they say? Ooh, girl, why you live out there? Are those facts? Facts. That's why you don't see us out here. This hasn't been a fun place for us to live. It hasn't been a safe place for us to be. My friends are like, they don't even come visit us because they're afraid of getting pulled over. They're afraid of being killed. This is the reality that we're living. I understand you're living in two different Americas. You're like, oh, Shoreline's great. You guys have the police as your neighbors. You've had the police as your friends. They show up at your soccer games with all your soccer moms and your little cups. They show up at your churches. They're your neighbors and friends. Our kids and the police, we teach our kids to be afraid of the police because they will kill you, black son. Be afraid of the police because they will harass you, child. You want to know why? I have a story. My husband has a story. I'm sure every black person has this type of story when they were pulled over. It's not okay. So we teach our kids to fear the police. That's why we don't want them in our schools. I don't care what you heard. We weren't part of that meeting. We want them out of our schools. But they're trying to flip the narrative like, oh, no, they're there to mentor. Mentor who? I don't want my kid mentored by no white policeman. Are you kidding me? That's dangerous for them. Think about the visual of a black boy in a classroom at school and there's a police officer there. Think about that visual. We have taught them to be afraid when they know someone will get killed, and we all seen it, and those cops haven't been arrested yet. When Breonna Taylor's, they're on a beach in Florida somewhere kicking it like it never happened. So our kids know if they get killed, no one's gonna do anything about it. The police will be free, it'll be fine. It'll be a hashtag and everybody will move on. So when they see police in schools, they are afraid. We need to pull them out. And I know there's a vote coming up soon. We already had a conversation where they flipped the script and they invited kids to that table that weren't even a part of this work. So it's intentional. It's intentional, right? Let's talk about the SROs and let's go invite kids to be on the panel that have not been visibly a part of the work. Does that make sense? No. But it's systemic and it's on purpose. So when you see stuff like that, make sure that these guys have a space at the table, even if you got to bring them with you, even if you're on a committee. Why isn't there a student seat on the equity team?
I have a good connection for you, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody have an answer? Why is there not a student voice on the equity committee that's there to talk about them? That doesn't make any sense. The kids need to have a seat on your equity team at your school. Go find the black student and black family and invite them. You know why they've never came? Because you never asked them. Disrupt that system because what you have been doing is not working. And we love Dr. Brandon Felder at the school district. I want to be very clear that when I talk about the district, I'm not talking against her because you guys like to always pigeonhole it all to the black women. Dr. Brandon Felder stands behind this work 100%, but she has to move strategically. She's playing her part. Leave her alone. She's playing her part. Okay, everybody knows what that is. Leave her alone. But also, white women, don't safeguard her and don't try to protect her from us. Because that's what's happened, because you don't know. Go get a youth seat. Go get a youth seat on the equity team, and we're going to hand it over. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Darnisha. Your story about Michaela reminds me of my story when I went to Shortcrest High School over 30 years ago when there was a racist incident, and my mom also went to the school, took it up several, that's right, my mom caused a ruckus at Shortcrest High School on my behalf, and how the school protected me was sending me to the principal and the school counselor every week for the rest of my high school career to make sure that I was not causing any more problems. So it's not changed in 30 years. Frankly, I don't have the confidence that it's going to change in the next 30 years. So I'm going to challenge all of you, Shoreline, please prove me wrong. Let's step up to our kids. We are going to have one last youth speaker to help as we finish our afternoon. On behalf of my family, Kaylin, Dawn, myself, our mom, Sandra, we really appreciate people who are coming out and wanting to listen to us. And as our youth are saying and Darnisha has shared, it's going to take a lot more than just showing up, but that's a start. So, Kaylin.
For those of you just tuning in, we are live in Shoreline, Washington.
Your attention should be on us. On us. If you want to keep us safe, then pay attention to us. Listen to what we say. It is not that hard. Your fragile white ego just won't let you. Black lives matter, no question. I matter, no question. And Melissa mad because she knows that I matter. We know you mad, Melissa. We all know you're mad because you know you're wrong. You're a coward. We matter, no question. You're mad that we matter. You mad that people are listening to us? That we finally have a voice not manipulated by you? We're not your little puppet. Black lives matter even when your fragile white ego says we don't. And Black lives matter even when your Insta feed is back to normal again. And Black lives matter even when we have to stand alone. You all can stand for us now, but will you stand for us tomorrow? It's been a crazy day, and who even knows if we're gonna see tomorrow? That's the truth. That's the truth. We don't know if we're gonna see tomorrow. We don't know if we're gonna fall to your white supremacy. How long till I become the next Tamir Rice? How long till I become the next Ionic Jones? How long till I become the next Trayvon Martin? That's the stuff we think about. You've never had to think about if you're gonna die because of the color of your skin. That's the privilege you live in. You should be able to listen to us. I shouldn't even have to see my name all over the city. But I do. This is what we mean by protect Black youth. You should be able to stand with us, not for us, in remembrance. Don't wait until we die to care. And after this, what will you do? Because half of y'all are only here for your performance activism. 1 minute you're saying Black Lives Matter, next you're saying tone it down, be quiet. I'm uncomfortable. We don't care if you're uncomfortable. I care less about how uncomfortable you are, because half of you don't care about me. You're only here to make yourselves look like charity case. We're not here for your entertainment. Our Black pain is not here for your entertainment. You need to put aside your white feelings for our Black healing. And after this, what will you do? What will you do to make sure we don't have to march in remembrance? How will you protect the Black youth in your community? How will you make sure we can walk around our neighborhoods without being targeted? How will you make sure we can feel safe in our own homes? How will the white students we go to school with make sure we aren't learning in a racist and hate-filled environment? Today isn't just for what happened to me or us. Today is for what Black and brown people go through every single day in Shoreline. Every single day. Just because you haven't heard about it doesn't mean it's not been happening. The world doesn't cater to you. It's there for you to see, but you don't care. We need to fix the world together, not divided. That's what some of y'all don't get. We're not saying only Black Lives Matter. There is no only in front of Black Lives Matter. People will say if it's your problem, it's not mine. It's a Black people's problem, it's a woman's problem, or it's a poor people's problem. Well, how many of you here have friends and colleagues from different races, genders, and religions? How many of you? Exactly. If you love us, then this is your problem too. So when we're protesting and when we're posting and when we're marching about the Trayvon Martins, the Tatiana Jeffersons, and the George Floyds of the world, then tell your friends to pull up and stand with us, because this is your problem too.
Thank you, Kaylin. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm really tired. I'm really exhausted. I don't know how many more words I have to share or how many times I have to hear this story and tell you how real it is.
Saying, oh good,
You
there
know,
was
when
a
you think
dog
of
who was
racism,
really
you think of
struggling
hate,
to my right.
you
They
don't
got
think
some
it's going to
water for
happen
the
in
dog.
your yard or your neighborhood.
Just to clarify.
And my anger and fear and just being scared of where I live, where my family has lived for 70 years.
That peppers was totally overheated.
And people are scared for us. And now our home is not our safe home anymore. All of you guys get to go home, be done with the day, and relax, kick back. And we don't get to do that. And that's what's happening right now in Shoreline. So I hope all of you can take everything you've heard today and make it your story as well, because if you believe that Shoreline is a safe place for Black and brown bodies, then follow it up with action and make sure our Black and brown children can be children in Shoreline. I'm gonna close out with my little sister, Dawn.
Thank you, Shoreline, again for being out here. I am Dawn Jordan, Kaylin's mom. I'm sure you have all seen the streaming video, and that video is proof that I am vicious when it comes to protecting our kids. Just like all of you should be. They deserve this. Our children are far too brave and wise than they deserve to be, because everyone in Shoreline has not done the work. They have not showed up for us and our kids. Do not ask me what you can do. Do the work yourself. Do not place the burden on the Black and brown people who have endured not just the racism and the hate and the violence, but your silence. Your silence. I spent 40 years in Shoreline, and this reaction, the hate, wanting to drown us out, blaming us for having the courage to finally stand up. We are being blamed for all the racism in Shoreline. My neighbors on our street, they want it to be over. They want it to be done so their life can go back to how it was. No more. Your life will not go back to the way it was. I will make sure of that. Every single person who wants to sit behind a computer anonymously, not show up for us, they want to blame us. I am a bully, they say. I am a racist. I am part of the problem. No. I will keep showing up, and I will keep getting louder. If you want to blame me, then blame me. But we know whose fault it is. Every single person in Shoreline who has been silent for generations. And our children are still paying the price. Who else's child is going to sleep at night thinking that their house is going to get burned down with them in it? Who else? One person, 2 people, and my child, for saying enough, 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 enough. For looking not just at herself or her peers, but the next generation. That's what all of these kids are up here doing. Why are you not doing it? Black Lives Matter? Come on, start showing it. Start showing it. Stop calling the police. Stop calling the police. Somebody called the police here today, and they showed up to protect this disruptor. They showed up even though they were told not to show up. And they wanted to come and start policing us. No, no. Stop calling the police. They do not support us. They do not care about this community. They care about a quarter of this community, and they want to pick and choose who that is. You want to take action and show that Black Lives Matter? Write those letters. Make Shoreline City Council answer for their incredibly irresponsible statement regarding the events. Ask the Shoreline Police Department why they have continually lied about the events surrounding this. Why did they not show up when a man drove a car through a crowd of children brandishing a gun? And I hope that was a wake-up call to all of you white people. You are now feeling that you are not off limits. You are fair game to the racists just like we have been. And we will always pay a higher price than you. But that does not mean that we will be silent. Good luck trying to get me back into a box. And I'm going to say again, our kids are way too brave. Way too brave. They should not be out here demanding your attention, putting their black pain on display for y'all to consume just so you can show up for us. Pay attention, pay attention. We're here for the kids, not for that man. They're gonna disrupt. Every disruptor is proving our point that this work is still necessary. All it does is make all these other moms dig in and prepare to fight for our children. And our children deserve this response every single day. Not just for their pain, for their blackness, their glory, their beauty, their talent, their magic, their joy, and their excellence. We want to be out here celebrating our babies before a funeral. Who here wants to show up for a funeral for a black child? I guarantee you, if I have to show up to a funeral for a black child, there will be hell to pay. It's not happening here. You have a responsibility, not just to these children, but to us. To us. You have a responsibility to all of your neighbors. You go there and you have those tough conversations. You intervene, even if you think there might be an issue or somebody might be trying to come for a black or brown person. You have those arguments. We have had them for centuries. We carry generational trauma. Generational trauma from the atrocities committed against our people. But yet, we still have to show up every day. Be functional, productive adults contributing to capitalism. And then on top of that, we have to fight our own fights alone. Alone. No more. Shoreline, and it's time for you to show up for us every single day. Do not put the burden on us and ask us what we need. You know what we need? We need your butts on the line with us every single day. Every single day. You figure out what you need to do. Educate yourself. Do not let these kids continue running laps around you intellectually regarding racism. That's ridiculous. Y'all are grown. Support and uplift black and brown voices because whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Whose lives matter? Black lives matter! Let the distractors distract. Let the distractors distract. You take all of that energy and you turn it right back around into your community, specifically your black and brown children and families. You protect them just like we protect them. Put your bodies on the line just like we have been doing for generations. If you just now showed up, welcome to the party, okay? Buckle in and get to work.
I just want to say one more thing, because I know there's a lot of conversation about the police. I just asked the police officers to leave the scene. You want to know why? I went up to them and asked them, why are they here? And they said they're here because they got a report that the guy in the red got assaulted. I asked them, I go, do you know that he was running through the crowd trying to come up here and attack our kids? And they said, I said, what are you going to do to protect the kids? And they said they can't do anything because he has a right to be here because it's freedom of speech, and that he wasn't doing anything. He can say what he ever wants to say. So when we talk about defunding the police, we talk about don't call the police, that is why. They will not show up to protect Black youth, period. Period. And all of you right here just saw that happen, yes? So we can all agree that today, on August 15th, you witnessed the police not do their job. Because did they come and try to protect them? Or did they go try to protect that white man because he was disrupting, and now they're going to go protect the other guy, and a white woman called them because she got assaulted, and they came right away. Kaylin, when you guys called them, did they come to you? No. We're going to ignore him. Now, we do have security in the guard. We have bike brigade that's here to do their job. Do not call the police. Do not ever call the police at one of these rallies with our Black kids here. Ever. Because he will go to jail, he will go to jail, he will go to jail, and every other Black man in here will be in jail somewhere because they came here to protect that white man. I'm pissed. You should be just as pissed. You should be livid. This is not no violent Black Lives Matter rally that they're trying to put in the news. So Diane, where you at, boo? When you go write your little stupid article, get it right. The police did not do their job. And me, Darnisha Weary, told them to leave. You can use my name, I don't care, I told them to leave. Because if you can't answer the simple question, what are you going to do to protect these Black youth? And you say, you can go. Bye. All right. I was going to say that. Keep that in your mind. Write it down in your little planner. August 15th, you saw the police not do their job. So when you hear it again, now you have reference to it. Now some of you, this is the first time seeing it. They didn't do anything. They told me they couldn't do anything because he has a right to be here just like we do. So, remember that day.
For people who didn't see me earlier, my name is Patrick Okocha, also known as Stan Pat. I'm an activist. I'm based out of Seattle, born and raised in Seattle, about 50 blocks that way in Lake City, so I know this area pretty well. I've been around Shoreline. One thing I will say that I'm very proud of just the crowd who's here. I've seen very little people disperse and to be out in the sun, and I can feel it from here, so I definitely know that you guys are feeling it out there. That means something. And I will say, as somebody who's out in Seattle right now, we are definitely looking to cities like Shoreline, cities like Renton, for leadership. As you can imagine, a lot of people from the city of Seattle are being displaced. And where they're coming into this community for the first time. And they're realizing, oh, this community been like this the entire time? So it's getting back to Seattle. So if you want to have a strong reputation for your own city, it means something for you to speak up on behalf of your own neighbors. It really does. Thank you.
All right, everyone. A lot of words, a lot of information for all of you to absorb, think about, reflect on. Most importantly, whose lives matter? Black lives matter! And in particular, these youth, right here, who have the courage to expose themselves and be vulnerable. Their lives are more valuable than they can even express. So let's express it for them. The irony of this, but someone lost their glasses case and it says Versace on it. So you go, girl. Yeah. Come on. I just want to ask our youth leaders, please come stand up one more time. Be present. These youth aren't just the future for other black and brown people. These youth are our future. And if you can't be angry on their behalf, then you need to step away. You're not welcome here. These children deserve all of the love and respect that you can give them. So all of you youth, I lift my hands up to you and I say thank you. All of you. You are beautiful. You are kind. And I value you. Here today. Thank you so much for being out in the sun with us. And again, just this incident with this very entitled gentleman in the back, very tiny drop of what we experience, and in particular, what Kaylin and I and my family are experiencing right now. The fight never ends, but these youth, with the support of all of us and being strong, powerful role models. Again, I'm challenging all of you to be good role models, not just for your children and the children in your family, but for all children of Shoreline, because it starts with us. So thank you, Shoreline. Goodbye.
I want to show you a video. I'm streaming right now, if you're okay with me on the camera. I want to show a video that we shot of that dude at the Seattle Police Officers Guild American Wolf Blue Lives Matter rally. And I have for you the reaction of the police when he showed up at their rally, if you would like to see that right now.
So is that the same Jesus dude?
Yep, exact same dude.
And the cops intervene then.
All right, so there you go. There's your institutional racism. Can I talk to you for a couple of minutes? I want to move away from the speakers. And then, here, 1 second. Guys, I'm going to mute just for a minute so that we don't get the feed killed. I'm going to mute. All right, so if you're wondering what was going on, the video I was showing them, that video was on the Malcontentment Tango. That is the same dude that was here. He was at the Seattle Police Officers Guild American Wolf, Support the Blue. He didn't last 2 minutes there, and the police had removed him. First of all, thank you so much for letting us be here today, and we're streaming right now, just to, to let you know. So I just want to get like a minute on camera, and then I need to have an off-camera conversation with you, and I'm going to end the stream.
Absolutely.
So, how do you feel about? Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You are amazing. You have no idea how much. First of all, from your supporters, getting a lot of love. So great job. And from the frightened kittens clutching their pearls, a lot of hate. So great job. So why don't you tell me, like, how do you feel, you know, what's next? That's the question. Where do you go from here, right? You've got momentum right now. How are you going to seize it?
So what we're looking for right now, with all this that's taking place, you know, this is our 4th rally. Specifically, we had the Shoreline peaceful protest where we had insurmountable amount of support, 5,000 people. We did a rally around Kalen, ran at Paramount Park. What we want now is that we're learning from this, and what we're learning is that here at Shoreline, we need somebody that knows journalists, knows how to write news articles so that we can counter false advertisement, false information like what's happening in Shoreline area news. Unfortunately, the older population relies on TV stations, they rely on the news to be delivered straight to their home. They're not following on social media, so we are needing help networking with how to get word around outside of social media.
Well, that's part of the conversation I want to have with you off camera, because I have some amazing news for you that we're going to talk about off camera exactly about that. Could you grab, I don't know names, but Lonnie, could you grab Lonnie? Lonnie, I want to talk to you because we had the music started playing. What's your reaction on watching that video that I just showed you?
Oh, it's equally appalling and not surprising. This is...
Could you tell, because people there, they don't know what you were seeing. I just started giving a quick description, right? Could you tell them, right?
Yeah, so the video I saw looked like the same disruptor. I believe his name is Matthew, and that's just what he does. And he was given carte blanche at that pro-police rally. And because he served their purpose.
He didn't last 2 minutes there.
Yeah.
And SPD escorted him off with a very firm grip on his arm.
Yeah. You know, and there's nothing equitable in how these systems work in any city. Not at all. You know, I specifically asked our police, what are you doing here to protect our children? And they had no response. And in fact, he began to get angry with me for telling him that you were not requested here. You were requested to leave. And he wanted to continue arguing with me about his right to be here. This police, they feel like they have the right to just police us whenever they want.
I will tell you this, and then I'm going to end my stream, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. The streamer community has heard the alarm bell up here, and there was big discussions in the streamers community, like who's covering this, who's covering this, who's covering this, who's going to be up there. I used to live up the road, so I've got skin in the game in this community. I moved away in 2012, but I used to live up the road here. So, and back in the day when the China Clipper was there, I was a karaoke fool up at that place, right? So I have skin in the game in this community, and I was like, if I got to crawl up here, I'm going to crawl up here, but I am here. But I could say it's not just me. The whole streamer community has heard the alarm bell, and that's part of the offside conversation I want to have. So I'm going to close, take me about 2 minutes to kind of close things up, and then I'm going to find y'all, but great thing to talk to. Thank you. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap it up here in Shoreline. What you've been watching is a Black Lives Matter action by activists, peaceful activists, where we had amazing, intelligent, articulate, and brave young women. They're children, but they are young women, and they shouldn't have to be young women. And I'm gonna call it out, because as a white person, whether I'm an ally, whether I am somebody engaged in passive or active activism, what happened over here is fucking appalling. It is appalling. These are children. Yes. Are you white people so friggin' afraid that you have to come here and shout over children? Really? What are you so afraid of? You don't want to change the status quo. Here's my message to you, because yeah, I'm fired up over this. We outnumber you. We will overcome.